Hey everybody, Carl here. Good to see you. Glad you're coming back. And today we're still on our adventure looking through the Zenith All-American 5 radio, and we're following the circuit right on down. And what we're going to do today is we are going to be looking at the 12 AV6 detector. And this is a pretty interesting tube. And now I want to keep in mind that we're just going to look at the principles of what's going on. We're not going to explain everything that's going on in the tube and in the circuitry surrounding the tube, because that's beyond the scope of this video. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to just get a basic idea of what's happening. Now, this tube is pretty interesting. It's a dual-purpose tube. It's a diode tube. Matter of fact, a twin diode tube. We're only using one of the diode plates, and it's a triode tube. So, what this tube does is it brings in the signal. And it's an RF signal coming in that's modulated with audio. It will slice it in half. It will take that information, and one thing is it sends it back to the automatic volume control circuit, so it keeps the audio, the volume, it keeps it in check. It keeps it balanced. So if you have a station that is in the distance and it comes in and it'll be loud and it'll go out a little bit, well, the automatic volume control, the AVC, it can detect that. It senses that through the signal that's being sent back from here, and it will balance. If it's going down, it brings the signal up. If it's going up too high, it will bring the signal down, and that's pretty cool. But, like I said, this is doing two things. First of all, it's cutting that signal in half, and then that's going out and it's going to the AVC, and then there's capacitors in that are taking off the radio frequency, the intermediate frequency that's in there, send it back, and then it's being amplified even more, and then it's going to be sent out to the amplifier tube, to the final tube that we'll be looking at next time. So let me take a real quick look in the book. Okay, this is our RCA receiving tube manual. And on this one, let me grab these because they really do help me, Okay, it's the twin diode high MU triode. So we've got the twin diode, and like I said, one of them it's sent to ground. And when I pop up the schematic here, you'll see that on the one side you'll see the one plate goes down and it goes right into ground, and then the other side is actually working as a diode. So we have that, and then we'll also see the screen that it's the control screen, control grid. And that will, and then we have the plate, and it goes out, and it goes into the next part. It's pretty cool how it works. And I'm going to show you a couple things here, too, on the whiteboard. And I'm going to show you on the oscilloscope, and we're going to compare them and see what's going on. And in the circuit, we'll just kind of see things that are happening. I think it'll be kind of interesting for you. Oh, and by the way, I have a little something special for you at the end of the video. So, if you stick around, you'll see that. Or if, the electronics kind of get, I'm getting bored now, just go to the end and check it out that way. It doesn't matter, Anyway, though it is nice when people watch the whole video, but, anyway, so we could go over this and look at all the different things, but I I'd like to encourage you to either have your PDF version of this and go look the tube up. Now, you're going to find more information, like all the other ones, on the 6 AV6 instead of the 12. But they're both exactly the same. It's just that the one uses 6 volts for its heater and the other one uses 12. That's it. So, you know, if you have one of these books, look it up. It's always cool to look at. And if you have the PDF on your computer, look it up there. Because if you're going to do this stuff, you're going to really want one of these. I mean, it really does help. So, okay, with that, let me take us to the whiteboard, and we'll take a quick look at it on there, the diagram that I drew up, and we'll get an idea of what's happening. And then I can flip over to the oscilloscope, and I can kind of show you what we're talking about on the whiteboard, in on the actual radio. Okay, so let me do that. I'll set up this camera here. Okay, here we go. We have our 12 AV6, and it's a diode tube and a triode tube. Let's kind of look at this real quick. Number 1 here, that is our control grid coming in. Number 2 is our cathode. 3 and 4 are the heaters. 5 is, remember I mentioned the plate. Well, and this is the one that's not being used. It runs right to ground. You see, here's the plate. It goes right to the ground that's connected with the cathode. So that's not in use. But number 6 is. This is our second diode plate. And then number 7 is our regular plate, our anode plate, that's going to go on to the next tube. And then this will be some amplified like all the other triodes do, like the other amplifiers. Now, one thing I wanted to mention here, if we look at A, the signal comes in like this, and I'm going to show it to you on the oscilloscope. And what's happening is the radio or intermediate frequency is running super fast. We got to remember, it's running at 455,000 cycles per second. Where the audio that's doing the modulating for this, it's running from, well, I mean, you could take it down to 100 cycles all the way up to 20,000 cycles. But, you know, here's the thing. It's in a whole different class. It's running so much slower than all these. And the reason that I wanted to point this out is because it runs so fast, it creates a mirror image. So you have like a positive side of the modulation and a negative side of the modulation. And what happens is, if we were to leave it like this, the positive side and the negative side would cancel each other out, and we wouldn't get any audio at all. That's why when you have like a signal tracer, when you click it over to radio, you're clicking in a diode, which is cutting half it out so you can hear it. And that's how that kind of works. So this tube here, it takes the signal in like this, and then we look over here at B, and we're going to look at this too in the scope. Once it's cut off, once it's cut in half, now not only does it now have the audio that we can listen to, but we still have, it's still the circuit that is within this, that works with this tube through capacitors, and that will take out the radio frequency. It will drain it off. And it'll be then left with this, and this will be amplified like a regular tube, and that will be sent to the output. And we're going to look at this in just a second on the scope. And we'll flash back and we'll see the different stages. Okay, so I thought you'd like that. All right, here we see a signal coming in. Now this is coming off of the 6 or the 12 BA6, going into the transformer, and this is, we're seeing now, and here we can listen to the audio. And you notice that, like what we looked at in the picture, and I'll flash the picture here real quick, in A, that it's both, you can see the positive and the negative. All right, and that's what's coming in, and that's our intermediate frequency that's being modulated by the audio. Now let me real quick, let me flip and put this on a different spot. Okay, let me put it on right here. And now, if you can see, it's been split. And now we're still seeing the modulation. We're seeing half of it. And but yet we still have to get rid of the radio frequency. And but this is like what we were talking about, number 2 over there. Now let me do the final deal here. Okay, so now here is the signal after the radio frequency has been taken from it. This is strictly your audio now. We can listen to it.
You saw a little sniping between Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg. You saw everybody going after.
Change the time a little bit, makes it a little bit
really
more.
The only direct attack on Bernie Sanders came from.
But there you go. I thought that you'd find that interesting. And so that's the different ones, you know, that I was trying to show you on the whiteboard. So now I said I had one thing that I wanted to do at the end here, because I'm running out of time, and the furnace is going to kick on again. So. And it's good to see you. I must go, I know I look a fright. And because my eyes are not accustomed to this light, and my shoes are not accustomed to this hard concrete, I will go back to my room and make my day complete, counting flowers on the wall that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do. Don't tell me I've nothing to do. So there you go. Ukulele power, I'm telling you. Okay, take care, everybody. Be good to one another as always. I'll look for you real soon. And is it the end? It's the end? It's the end. Goodbye for now.